Very good morning to all of you friends. I hope you are doing good. In the last two sessions, we discussed overhead, wherein we discussed the meaning of overhead, the distribution of overhead. Thereafter, we discussed what is under or over absorption of overhead. Now, we'll be starting with the remaining part of the chapter, that is treatment of under or over absorption of overheads. Very good morning to all of you friends. Now today we'll be discussing many practical questions from the study material, guys. So I request you guys to please download the study material. और जिन लोगों के पास hard copy है, please keep your hard copy of study material with you. Because today we'll be discussing, most of this session will be on practical questions only, since examiner do ask practical question frequently from this chapter. So please guys, सब अपने study material निकाल लीजिए. Now guys, let's start. Let's take a quick review of what is under and over absorption of overhead. When talking about what is under or over absorption of overhead, if there is any difference between the actual overheads and the absorbed overhead, that is overheads as per predetermined rate, if there is any difference between the overheads as per predetermined rate and the actual overhead, this is what we call as under or over absorption of overhead. I repeat again, if there is any difference between the overheads, what overheads? The overhead as per predetermined rates and the actual overhead. The difference is what we call as under or over absorption of overhead. When talking about what is under, what is over absorption, when the absorbed overheads, that is the overheads as per predetermined rate, what is absorbed overheads? Overheads as per budgeted or predetermined rate. So if absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads, this is under absorption. And when talking about over absorption, if absorbed overheads are more than actual overheads, it is over absorption. So this is all what we discussed in the last session. Yes, Anu Gupta, today is the last session of overheads. So in the last session, we discussed what is under and over absorption of overhead. That is the meaning of under or over absorption of overhead. Now guys, let's start with the treatment of under and over absorption of overhead. Thereafter, I'll be giving you few questions in class so that you can solve and to check that whether you guys are thorough with the concepts or not. So guys, let's start with the treatment of under or over absorption of overhead. treatment of under or now two situations are possible, guys. The first situation can be if the difference is of a nominal amount, a very small amount, is of a small amount. There is hardly any difference between the absorbed overheads and actual overheads. So whatever the difference is, transfer it to costing P&L. If difference is of huge amount, now अगर डिफरेंस बहुत बड़े अमाउंट का है, अगेन इफ ड्यू टू अबनॉर्मल रीजंस, ये जो डिफरेंस आया है किस वजह से आया है? ड्यू टू अबनॉर्मल रीजन, or we can say lack of proper planning, then again whatever the difference is, whatever the under or over absorption is, transfer it to costing P&L. Now in any other case, what you have to do, in all the other cases, what you have to do, very simple, guys, you have to calculate supplementary rate. And that rate is used to charge these under or over absorption to, first of all, cost of sales charge to whom? Cost of sales finished goods and work in progress. So I repeat again, if the difference is of a very small amount, whatever the difference is, whatever the under or over absorption is, transfer it to costing P&L. If the difference is of a large amount or a huge amount, if it is due to abnormal reasons or lack of proper planning, then whatever the difference is, again transfer it to costing P&L. But in any other case, what you have to do, you have to calculate a supplementary rate, and that rate is used to charge to the cost of goods sold, the finished goods, and the work in progress. So if you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can ask me. Those who want to copy this part can please copy. Supplementary rate means the additional, a rate which is used to charge this under or over absorption to this cost of sales, finished goods, and work in progress. Let me discuss this concept more with the help of an example. I'll be discussing illustration number, one second guys, I'll be discussing illustration number 8. I'll be discussing illustration number 8, page 4.41 of the study material. Illustration number 8, page 4.41, guys. Ankur Patel, there is no criteria as such. When talking about why we are doing so, see, as far as the treatment of the amount that is the treatment of under or over absorption that is due to abnormal reasons. Anyways, if any cost that is incurred, it is due to abnormal reason is to be transferred to costing P&L. And if it is due to normal reason, we can assume that it may be due to some inflations or fluctuations in prices. So that's why we inflate the prices of cost of goods sold, cost of finished goods and work in progress accordingly, Karthik Gupta. So guys, let's start with illustration number 8. The total overheads expenses of a factory is 4,46,380. I repeat again, the total overhead expenses of a factory is 4,46,380, taking into account the normal working hours of the factory. The overheads was recovered in production at the rate of 1.25 per hour. The actual hours worked are 2,93,104. State, how would you proceed to close the books of accounts assuming that besides 7,800 units produced, of which 7,000 units were sold, there were 200 equivalent units in work in progress. On investigation, it was found that 50% of the under-absorbed overhead was on account of increase in cost of direct material and indirect labor, and remaining 50% was due to factory inefficiency. So due to factory inefficiency, this is an abnormal reason. So whatever the under or over absorption is that is due to factory inefficiency, it will be transferred to costing P&L. So let's start, guys, with illustration number 8. Very simple, guys. First, we'll see what all information is given in the question. The total overheads expenses of a factory. So actual overheads are given. That is 4,46,380. Taking into account the normal working of the factory, the overheads was recovered in production at the rate of 1.25 per hour. That is the absorption rate. $1.25 per hour. And the actual hours are also given, that is 2,93,104. Now, what we will do first, we will first calculate how much is under or over absorption of overhead. For this, we will calculate first the absorbed overheads. As discussed in the last session, we will first calculate the absorbed overheads. That is the actual are 2,93,104 into 1.25. That is overheads as per predetermined rate on actual hours. So 293,104 into 1.25. Yes, we can say Pooja. So 3,66,380. This is my absorbed overhead. And when talking about actual overheads, it is given in the question, that is 4,46,380. So my point, the absorbed overheads are less than actual overheads. So this is what we call as under absorption. That is, so this will be 80,000. Now, very good, Hitesh Jain. So now we are out with the figure of under absorption of overheads, that is 80,000. Now let's discuss the treatment of 80,000. Again, two parts. That is 50% is due to inefficiency. So 50% due to inefficiency, that is 40,000 rupees, 80,000 into 50%, that is 40,000. What will be the treatment of this 40,000? Very simple, guys. Very good, Jaspreet. Very good, Tanishka Agrawal. So this 40,000 will be transferred to costing P&L. I repeat again, guys, why it is under absorption. As discussed in the previous session, when the absorbed overheads are less, it means what? And the actual overheads are more. I repeat again, if the absorbed overheads are less and the actual overheads are more, it means what? We have under absorbed it. So this 40,000 is due to inefficiency. So this will be transferred to costing P&L. And the balance 50% due to increase in price. So that price need to be charged to finished goods, cost of sales and work in progress. That's why we calculate the supplementary rate and we charge these under or over absorption to the product. So this 50% due to increase in prices, that is rupees 40,000, will calculate the supplementary rate. Now, how to calculate the supplementary rate? That is the question. How to calculate the supplementary rate? So, total 40,000 is the amount, whole divided by the number of units produced. Now, this 40,000 is charged to 3 points. First, finished goods, that is goods that are in stock. Second, the goods that are sold, and the goods that are in process. I repeat again, this 40,000 is to be charged to 3 points. First one, finished goods. Second one, that is the goods that are sold. And third one, that is work in progress. So it is given in the question that total 7,800 units were manufactured. Of this, 7,000 were sold. That were sold. It means what? 800 are still in stock. So we are done with two figures, that is the goods that are sold, the goods that are in stock. And further it is given that 200 equivalent number of units are still in process. So plus 200. So my supplementary rate will be how much? 7,800 plus 200, that is 8,000. So 40,000 divided by 8,000. So this will be rupees 5 per unit. Now this 5 per unit will be used to increase the cost of, first point, the goods cost of sales. That is, the units sold are 7,000. So 7,000 into 5, 35,000. So the cost of sales will be increased by how much? 35,000, thereby reducing the profit. So this 35,000 we can say is to be transferred to costing P&L, wherein we do maintain the records of the profit and loss on sale of goods also. So this 35,000 indirectly is to be transferred to costing P&L, since the cost of sales is anyways transferred to costing P&L. Now finished goods cost will be increased by total goods that are in stock is 800 into 5, that is 4,000 rupees. And the work in progress cost will be increased by total 200 unit into 5. So this will be 1,000. So this 40,000 is to be distributed as follows. If you guys have any doubts in this solution, you guys can please ask me. I request you guys to please copy the solution. The solution is presented in a very simple way for your easy understanding. Anyways, in exams, you have to follow the presentation as specified in the material. But for your reference and clear understanding, I have presented the solution in this way. So I repeat again, when there is a question of under or over absorption of overhead, very important guys, let's sum up. When there is a question of under and over absorption of overhead, the first point what you have to do is you have to calculate the absorbed overheads. Thereafter, the second step is you have to compare absorbed overheads with actual overheads. To what? To calculate under or over absorption of overhead. Now the third step is very important guys. The third step, check how much is due to improper planning or due to abnormal reasons, and how much is due to the other reasons. So if it is due to inefficiency or abnormal reasons, whatever the amount of under or over absorption is, you have to transfer it to costing P&L. The balance amount, what you have to do, you have to calculate the supplementary rate, and that supplementary rate is applied to cost of sales, finished goods, and work in progress. I'll write all these steps in brief for your, again, for your convenience, but if you guys have any doubts in this under and over absorption treatment, you guys can ask me. Apart from this, those who want to copy the solution can please copy. Ankur Patel, I'll be discussing 3 to 4 questions on under and over absorption, so don't worry, my dear. No. No, sir, everything is fine. I've just given the time to copy the solution. Now there is a question from Harsh. What about these amounts? Very important. The first point, that is 35,000, is to be transferred to costing P&L since the cost of sales is increased by 35,000. Second point, this 4,000 will be added to the cost of finished goods, and this 1,000 is to be added to the cost of work in progress. So now let's sum up what we have discussed in under and over absorption of overheads. The first point is what we have to do. Very simple. We have to calculate absorbed overheads. After calculating absorbed overheads, we'll calculate under or over absorption. Once under or over absorption is calculated, then we'll proceed for the treatment of under or over absorption of overhead. So these are the three stages in under and over absorption of overhead, guys. I'll be discussing few more questions. So I'll be discussing practical questions as requested by many of the students that sir, please discuss more practical questions in this chapter. So I'm discussing few more practical questions on under and over absorption of overheads. Practical question number 7. I request you guys to please read practical question number 7, page number 4.66. Practical question number 7, guys. So let's start. In a factory, overheads of a particular department are recovered on the basis of rupees 5 per machine hour. I repeat again. In a factory, overheads of a particular department are recovered on the basis of rupees 5 per machine hour. The total expenses incurred and the actual machine hours for the department for the month of August are 80,000 and 10,000 hours respectively, 80,000 rupees and 10,000 hours respectively. Of the amount 80,000, 50,000 becomes payable due to an award of the labor code. So it is an abnormal expenses, and 5,000 was not related to this year. It is given that 5,000 was in respect of the expenses of the previous year booked in the current month. So again, this part is to be ignored. This part is to be deducted from the actual expenses. The actual production was 40,000 units, of which 30,000 units were sold. On the analysis of the reason, it was found that 60% of the under-absorbed overhead was due to defective planning and the rest was due to normal cost increase. Show the treatment of under or over absorption of under and over absorbed overheads in the cost accounts. So guys, let's start with question number 7. So now, again, let's write this extracts, that is the absorption rate is given in the question. That is rupees 5 per hour. I'm taking practical question number 7, Manthanjali. Actual expenses are given, that is actual overheads are given, that is 80,000. Actual hours are also given. That is 10,000 hours. Now guys, let's start. We'll first calculate the absorbed overheads. Wherein my actual hours are 10,000 hours at the rate rupees 5 per hour. So the total absorbed overheads are 50,000. When talking about actual overheads, this amount is 80,000. However, the amount that is due to abnormal reasons, that is rupees 5,000 and 15,000 is to be deducted from 80,000. This 5,000 is not related to current year, and that 15,000 is due to a compensation awarded by the court. So again, it is not the normal case. So that's why we have removed the effect of 15,000 and 5,000. So the normal actual overheads are 60,000. So herein, Rafika Mehman, I'll be discussing questions on machine hour rate also. Don't worry, my dear. Ankur Patel, the question may be different because the question number may be different in the old study material and the new material. I am referring the latest study material. So now the absorbed overheads are 50,000 and the actual overheads are 60,000. It means what? It is an under absorption. So 10,000 it was we call as under absorption. Now, so we are out with the figure that how much is the amount of under or over absorption of overhead. Now, this 10,000 rupees that is under or over absorption of overhead, it is given in the question that 60% is due to defective planning. Again, there is a query from Mr. Tejas, sir, why we have deducted 15,000 and 5,000? Very important, Mr. Teja. 5,000 is not related to current year and 15,000 is an extraordinary item. We do consider only the normal actual overhead, not any sort of compensation awarded by the court or any abnormal expenditure. So this is an extraordinary item. That's why I have removed. Further, this 5,000 is not related to current year. So that's why it is deducted. So of this 10,000, 60% is due to lack of planning. So 6,000 is to be transferred to costing P&L and balance 40% due to normal reasons. So we will calculate the supplementary rate. So the total amount is 4,000 divided by the number of units. Now let's see how much are the units that are manufactured. It is given in the question that actual production was 40,000 units, of which 30,000 units were sold, and there is no information given in the question as regards the work in progress. So 30,000 are the units sold and 10,000 are units that are still in stock. So the rate will be 0.1. Now, cost of sales will be increased by 30,000 into 0.1 and finished goods will be increased by 10,000 into 0.1. So that is 3,000 and 4,000. 3,000 and 1,000. If you have any queries, you guys can please ask me. Waiting for your queries. Yes, Hitesh Jain, you can. Miss Pooja Borde will try to in the next session, my dear. Rekha, when talking about absorption rate, that is the rate as per the budgeted rate of absorption of overhead. That is the budgeted overheads divided by budgeted hours. Now, guys, I have a question for you now. I want you guys to solve a question live in the session. So, done with this question, question number 7. Now, there is a question for you guys to test whether you guys are thorough with the concept or not. Yes, Akash Neil. Now, there is a question for you guys. Let's see who answers first. Now, following is the information given in the question, that is budgeted overheads. Let's say 5 lakh. Budgeted hours, let's say 50,000. Actual overheads and actual hours, let's say actual hours are 45,000 and actual overheads are, let's say, 4,90,000. %40 overheads are 40% under or over absorption was due to lack of proper planning, further units manufactured total 20,000, units sold 18,000, units in process 8,000, which are 50% complete. Units in process 8,000, which are 50% complete. Now, you guys have to first of all identify how much is under or over absorption of overhead and what is the supplementary rate. I repeat again, what is the supplementary rate? Waiting for your answers, guys. Waiting for your answers, guys. My question is, please guys answer how much is the under or over absorption. My first question, how much is the under and over absorption? And my second question is the supplementary rate. Please answer only two questions, that is how much is the under or over absorption and what is the supplementary rate. We have to increase the cost. Anita. Waiting for your answers. Two questions. How much is under or over absorption and what will be the supplementary rate? Waiting for your answers, guys. Giving you 2 minutes time. Let's see who answers first. Okay, I have started getting answers now. Okay, now I've got answer from Yukti Jain. Your answer is incorrect, partially correct, in fact, partially incorrect. Pooja PS, this is the question. So I am asking a question. You are not supposed to ask a question on a question. Okay, I've got answer from Hitesh Jain. What about the second part, Hitesh? Vanati V, incorrect answer. Shivam Durya, correct answer. Again, guys, if you're posting your answers, I request you to post answer, first answer and second answer. Okay, I've got answer from Kamlesh Chaudhary. It is correct answer, Kamlesh. Farheen Fatima, your answer is incorrect, my dear. Jaspreet Kaur, how can you write this answer? I'm very much surprised, my dear. Incorrect answer. Vikas, incorrect answer. Manthanjali, I do expect a better answer from you. Okay, Riya Jaiswal, your answer is partially correct. Jaspreet Kaur, again incorrect answer, my dear. Himanshu Gupta, the supplementary rate is incorrect. Karthik Gupta, very good. Your answer is correct now. Kuldeep Kumar, correct answer. Pooja PS, again I repeat, you have to calculate the absorption rate, my dear. Okay. Miss Faber Biju Thomas, incorrect answer. This is 5 lakh budgeted overheads. Budgeted hours are 50,000. Actual overheads is 4 lakh 90,000. Manthanjali, your answer is incorrect. What is the correct answer? I'll be writing. Shivam Singh, again incorrect answer, my dear. Jyoti, incorrect answer. Rajan Kumar, incorrect answer. Afreen, incorrect answer. Manish Goyal, incorrect answer. Ritika Verma, 1 second. Only few were able to answer it correctly, my dear. Ritika, can you please repost your answer? Riya Jaiswal, I think your answer is correct. Okay, Miss Himashri, incorrect answer. Oh, Mr. Teja, yeah, there I'm getting so many answers, so I think I skipped your answer. Let me check once again, Mr. Teja. Okay, Ritika, your answer is incorrect. Okay, Mr. K. Teja, yes, sorry. Okay, Mr. Charan Teja, your answer is correct, but yes, you have. I just want the complete answer, my dear. Very good, Neha Gupta, your answer is correct. Okay, now let me solve this question. The question is a very easy question, but I changed some figures to confuse you guys. So now, guys, listen to me very carefully, guys. Herein, in this question, I have not given the predetermined rate. Pooja PS, I think Pooja PS, there is a girl named Pooja. Pooja, I have not given the absorption rate, but you guys can calculate the absorption rate. I have discussed it in the first part that you have to calculate the absorption rate first. That is, total overheads are 5 lakh and budgeted hours is for 50,000. So my absorption rate will be how much? 5 lakh divided by 50,000. So that is rupees 10 per hour. In most of the questions, this data will be given. In most of the cases, this data will be given in the question, but examiner may sometimes give the data like that. Anyways, so now we are having the absorption rate. We will calculate absorbed overheads first. Again, for your reference, I am writing the formula also, that is actual hours into predetermined absorption rate. So my actual hours are 45,000. So absorbed overhead will be 45,000 into 10. So this will be 4,50,000. Now, my absorbed overheads are 4,50,000 and my actual overheads are 4,90,000. So my absorbed overheads are less. My absorbed overheads are less than my actual overhead. So this is under absorption. Rupees 40,000. Of this 40,000, of this 40,000, 40% is to be transferred to costing P&L. That is 16,000 to be transferred to costing P&L. And the balance 60%, that is 24,000, we have to calculate the supplementary rate. When talking about supplementary rate, the units manufactured were 20,000. Of this, 18,000 units were sold, 2,000 units are still in stock, and very important, 8,000 units are in process which are 50% complete. Guys, I discussed the first illustration wherein it was clearly mentioned that 200 units were equivalent number of units in work in progress. So herein, as far as work in progress is concerned, we have to take the equivalent number of units. I'll be discussing the concept of equivalent number of units in process costing in detail, but for your reference, the equivalent number of units will be how much? 8,000 into 50%. It means 8,000 units which are 50% complete will be equal to 4,000 units which are 100% complete. So 18,000 plus 2,000 plus 4,000. Very important. How come this 4,000? 8,000 units which are only 50% complete. So that's why I have taken 4,000. So this cost is incurred only for 8,000 units which are 50% complete. So we can say approximately 4,000 units which are 100% complete. So the supplementary rate will be ₹1 per unit. This is the final answer. Yes, Tanishka. Guys, before starting the solution, I request you to please read the question carefully and thoroughly. Don't skip. Read each and every point in clear. Read each and every point very carefully. So herein, what many of you guys did is, sir, budgeted overheads are 5 lakh. Actual overheads are 4,90,000. So it is over absorption of 10,000. I have got many answers of over absorption of 10,000. That guys, this answer is incorrect. So very important, you have to first find the absorption rate. If absorption rate is given in the question, well, perfectly fine. But if absorption rate is not given in the question, then you have to first figure out the absorption rate. Then you have to calculate the absorbed overheads. And then the absorbed overheads will be compared with actual overheads to find out under or over absorption of overheads. I request you guys, very good. Himanshu Gupta, I skipped it, I think. Rekha, sir, other 50% is work in progress. So we will also take that. What is work in progress? The work started but not completed. So the balance 50% will be completed next year. So it will be that balance 50%, that is balance 4,000 unit will be calculated using, will be used to calculate the supplementary rate for the next year. Yes, 4,000 is the work in progress. Yes, cost of sales will be increased. Now here in the cost of sales will be increased by 18,000 into 1, that is 18,000. It means what? The cost of sales will be increased by 18,000, thereby reducing the profit by 18,000. So very important, the first point is to read the question carefully. Question में बहुत सारी उल्टी सीधी चीजें दी गई होती है. So read each and every point carefully, then only start solving the question. Those who want to copy the solution can please copy first. Further, you can charge this supplementary rate to cost of sales, finished goods, and work in progress. That's what it is. This is all what about this question. If you guys have any queries, you guys can please ask me. Okay, Jyoti sir, please explain supplementary rate once again. So Jyoti, my dear, this 24,000 is under or over absorption of overhead, which is used to calculate the supplementary rate. So herein in this question, it is given that units manufactured were 20,000. Of this, 18,000 were sold. So 18,000 is what? The units sold, 2,000 units that are still in stock. Now, what about work in progress unit, that is 8,000? Are these units 100% complete? No, they are only 50% complete. So we will calculate the equivalent number of units, that is 8,000 into 50%. Let's say if these 8,000 units are, let's say, 60% complete. Let's say if these 8,000 units are, let's say, 60% complete, then herein this amount will be 4,800 units. If these 8,000 units are 10% complete, we would have taken 800 only. Good, Tanishka. Okay, Divya S. Kanal. See, it is given in the question that total units manufactured were 20,000. Total units manufactured were 20,000 units. Of these, 18,000 were sold. So 2,000 units are still in stock. Preeti Panchal, who said work in progress is not accounted? If you see the balance sheet also, there is a separate heading for work in progress under the stock. So work in progress will also form part of accounts. So the value of work in progress will be increased by 4,000. Value of finished goods will be increased by 2,000, and value of cost of sales will be increased by 18,000. This is the final answer. Perfectly well said, Mantanjali. First, the absorption rate. Mukta Vyas, I'm not getting what you are asking, my dear. Okay, still few of you guys are having doubts. So let's discuss one more question. 1 second, guys. Let's discuss one more question. I'm discussing question number 11. That is practical question number 11. ABC Limited, guys. Still there are doubts, sir, where this 50% came from. This is my question, my dear. So this is given in the question that 8,000 units are still in process, which are 50% complete. Pooja, I'll be discussing this concept of equivalent number of units in detail in process costing. But for your reference, if there are 10,000 units, and let's say, 1 second, guys. Sorry. If there are 10,000 units which are 20% complete, it means what? The cost that is incurred for 10,000 units which are 20% complete will be equal to 2,000 units which are 100% complete. This is the concept of equivalent number of units. I'll be discussing this concept in detail. Okay, Pooja. Sir, in illustration number 8, they have taken work in progress 200, but in this we didn't consider whole work in progress. Pooja, just read the question carefully. This 200 is equivalent work in progress. So, herein also 8,000 is work in progress, but this 4,000 is what? Equivalent work in progress. In illustration number 8, what I have discussed, they have clearly mentioned that work in progress, this 200 units were equivalent number of work in progress units. So guys, let's start with illustration number 11. Those who are finding it difficult to calculate, equivalent number of units and to find out how to calculate the supplementary rate, for your reference, I'm discussing the last question on under and over absorption of overheads. So please guys, refer practical question number 11, page number 4.68. So ABC Limited manufactures a single product and absorbs the production overhead at a predetermined rate of rupees 10 per hour. So herein in this question, this absorption rate is given clearly. Pooja, I'll be discussing the concept of equivalent number of units in detail in process costing. So have some patience. For now, jitna sikhaya more than sufficient hai. Don't want to waste, don't want to invest more time in this calculate. What is the concept of equivalent number of units? Because anyways, I'll be discussing this concept in detail in process costing, my dear. So ABC Limited manufactures a single product and absorb the production overhead at a predetermined rate of rupees 10 per machine hour. At the end of current financial year, it was found that the actual production overheads were 6 lakh. It includes 45,000 on account of return off on obsolete stores and 30,000 being the wages paid for the strike under an award. So again, these are extraordinary and abnormal items. So these items are to be deducted for calculating in calculation of actual overheads that are normal actual overheads. Further, the production and the sales data for the current year is as follows. That is, finished goods is 20,000, work in progress 8,000 units, which were 50% complete. Finished goods that are sold is 18,000. The actual machine hours worked during the period is 48,000 hours. It has been found that 1/3 of the under absorption of production overhead was due to lack of product planning and the rest was attributable to normal increase. So you guys have to calculate the under or over absorption of overhead. So let's solve this quickly without wasting time. A very easy question, more or less like the question I have already discussed. So herein we'll first calculate the absorbed overheads. So absorption rate is given 10 and the actual machine hours is 48. So 48,000 into 10. So this will be 4,80,000. When talking about actual hours, actual overheads, हर्ष नहीं होंगे deduct, don't worry. So now the actual overheads are given 6 lakh, of which 45,000 and 30,000 need to be deducted. So 6 lakh minus 45,000 minus 30,000. So this will be 5,25,000. That is the actual overhead. So again, my absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead. So this is under absorption. $45,000. Of this 45,000, it is given in the question. Very good, guys. Very good, everybody. Amritpal Kaur, everyone. Very good, guys. I hope now you guys are thorough with the concept of under and over absorption of overhead. So further, it is given in the question that 1/3 of the under absorption was due to lack of product planning. So 1/3 is due to lack of production planning. So we can say 15,000 is to be transferred to costing P&L, and balance 2/3, that is 30,000, we have to calculate the supplementary rate. When talking about supplementary rate, 30,000 divided by The number of units that are sold is 18,000. That are still in stock is 2,000. Plus work in progress, that will be 4,000. How come 4,000? 8,000 into 50%. So the final answer will be 1.25. Now you can apply this rate to cost of sales, finished goods and work in progress to calculate the total cost of finished goods and work in progress and the amount to be transferred to costing P&L. So guys, I am done with under and over absorption of overhead. Very good, guys. I hope you guys are thorough with the concept of under and over absorption of overhead. So now this part of the chapter is also complete. That is meaning and treatment of under and over absorption of overheads. I have discussed most of the questions. Again, there is an illustration number 9. So I request you guys to please read that question thoroughly and try to solve this question on your own. A very, very, very easy question. More or less similar to all the concepts what we have discussed, that is related to absorption, that is calculation of absorption rate and calculation of under and over absorption of overhead. So this question 9, I request you guys to solve this on your own, and this is a homework for you. If you guys have any doubts in question number 9, then you guys can ask me in the next session. Yes, Hitesh, if you follow any of the approach, both the approaches are correct. The examiner is not going to deduct any marks. Perfect. Jaspreet Kaur. Very good. Kaveri Pagare. I'm talking about practical question number 9. Now practical question number 9. I'm talking about practical question number 9. So try to solve this question on your own. If you have any doubts and difficulty in solving question number 9, you guys can ask me in the next session. So guys, now we are done with meaning and treatment of under and over absorption of overhead. Now we'll move towards the next part of the chapter, that is calculation of machine hour rate. So before starting with this part, let's take a break of 10 minutes. Thereafter, we'll start with the remaining part of the chapter, that is calculation of machine hour rate. I'll be discussing 2 to 3 questions on calculation of machine hour rate, plus one more question that is there more or less related to simultaneous equation. So I'll be discussing that question also. And if we are left out with some time in this session, and if you are finding any difficulty in practical question number 9, then I'll discuss this question also. But much depends upon the time. So guys, let's take a break of 10 minutes. We'll see you after 10 minutes, and then we'll start with the machine hour rate based questions. Edwin sir, are you there? Welcome back, guys, after a much needed break. So now, Vijay Gore is a format to write the answer of this question in exam. Vijay, you can follow any of the format. Better it is you can present it in a tabular way. So that is, first of all, you have to calculate under or over absorption of overhead. Then simply you can write the statement like 40% due to defective planning. So transfer to costing P&L. And 60% we do calculate the supplementary rate, and then we charge this rate to finished goods, cost of sales, and work in progress. So any of the approach is correct. Better you can write it in a statement form. This chart form is for your understanding so that you guys can understand the concepts well. It's all your efforts, Kaveri. Okay, there is a question from Akash Neel sir. How to calculate the total factory overhead to the total factory wages? So when talking about total factory overhead to total wages, so whatever the factory overheads are, you have to write it divided by total wages into 100. So this is the way you have to calculate the absorption rate for factory overhead to factory wages. So guys, now let's proceed towards the next part of the chapter, that is calculation of machine hour rate. I hope Pooja, Naveen Chandra Gajjar, you have joined the session, because last time it was not I was not being able to cover this part in detail in the previous batch. So guys, let's start with illustration number 6. I'm discussing the machine hour rate based questions. That is the next part of the chapter. Again, a very, very simple concept. When talking about how to calculate the machine hour rate, very simple. The total cost incurred divided by machine hours. In short, you have to calculate the rate per hour. That's it. The overheads that are incurred for a machine divided by number of hours, that will be the machine hour rate. Now let's start with illustration number 6 of the study material. I request you guys to please refer illustration number 6 of the study material, page number 4.34. A machine costing rupees 1 crore is expected to run for 10 years. At the end of this period, its scrap value is likely to be 9 lakh. Repairs during the whole life of the machine are expected to be 18 lakh. And the machine is expected to run 4380 hours per year on the average. Its electricity consumption is 15 rupees per unit, and the rate is 15 units per hour. Sorry, its electricity consumption is 15 units per hour. The rate per unit is rupees 5. The machine occupies 1/4 of the area of the department and has 2 points out of total of 10 for lighting. So they have given the area that is occupied by the machinery, and apart from this, the light point that are used by the machine. The foreman has to devote about 1/6 of his time to the machine. The monthly rent of the department is 30,000, and the lighting charges are 8,000 per month. The foreman is paid a salary of 19,200. Find out the machine hour rate assuming insurance is at the rate of 1% per annum and the expenses of oil etc. are rupees 900 per month. So guys, now so now we have to calculate the machine hour rate. That is, we have to calculate the total cost divided by the number of machine hours. So now we have to prepare a statement wherein we have to divide all the cost in two parts, or alternatively you can simply write all the costs together also, it's up to you, but it is advisable to write all the cost in two parts, that is fixed cost and variable cost. So let's start with statement showing calculation of machine hour rate. Fixed cost oblique standing cost and variable cost or running cost, we can say. Further, we can prepare this column in two parts, that is the total amount and the per hour column, that is amount and per hour amount. So let's start guys with this question now. So herein the first part, that is depreciation, is given, that is wherein the cost of machine is 1 crore. We'll write the variable cost later. So when talking about depreciation, 1 crore is the total cost of the machine, minus the scrap value is 9 lakh, divided by useful life 10 years. Now this statement can be prepared monthly or yearly depending upon the details given in the question. So I'll be preparing this as a monthly statement, so divided by 12. So the total amount will be 75,833. I'm preparing the monthly statement. So now we are done with the depreciation part. Now let's proceed further with the rent, wherein the monthly rent of the department is 30,000. So rent is, or monthly rent is 30,000. And since the rent is apportioned on the basis of area, so herein it is given that the machine occupies 1/4 of the area of the department. So into 1 divided by 4. So this much belongs to this machine. So this will be 7,500. Lighting charges are 8,000 per month. Again, it is a fixed cost. $8,000 per month. Further, it is given that 2 points out of total of 10 for lighting. So this machine is using 2 points out of total 10 points. So 8,000 into 2 by 10. So this will be 1,600. Further, it is given that the foreman has to devote about 1/6 of his time on the machine, and the foreman's salary is 19,200 per month. $19,200 per month, and he has devoted 1/6 of his time to the machine. So divided by 6. So this will be 19,200 into 1 divided by 6. This will be 3,200. Further, it is given in the question that insurance is 1% per annum on 1 crore. So we will calculate the insurance cost also. That is 1 crore into 1%. That is 1 lakh divided by 12. So insurance cost also, that is 1 crore into 1% into 1 by 12. 8,333. Further, it is given that the expenses on oil etc. are 900 per month. So herein sundries expenses, sundry, that is rupees 900 per month. So herein all the fixed costs we have already considered. I'll be covering this part also, Mansha, don't worry. So we have considered all the fixed cost. Now we have to convert this fixed cost into per hour data. So herein the total cost we have calculated is 75833 plus 7500 plus 1600 plus 3200 plus, so 97,366. So when talking about per hour, the total number of hours that are worked by the machine is, the total number of productive hours that are worked by machine is 4,380 per year. So 4380 divided by 12, that is 365 hours per month. 4380 hours per year, or 365 hours per month. So we'll calculate the per hour rate, that is 97,366 divided by 365. So this rate will be 266.76. Sir, machine का scrap value minus होगा ना? See, I have deducted the scrap value for the purpose of calculating depreciation. That is wherein the cost is 1 crore. At the end of the life, the scrap value is 9 lakhs. So it is deducted, my dear. Very good, Hitesh. Okay. I have taken the insurance value also, that is 1 crore into 1% into 1 by 12. Okay, there is a query from Mantanjali, sir, you have skipped the scrap value of insurance, that is 9 lakh. See, Mantanjali, when talking about insurance premium, the insurance premium is paid on the cost of the machine. So herein the cost of the machine is 1 crore. So very simple, my dear. On 1 crore, we have to take insurance at the rate of 1%. I mean, scrap value will be realized at the end of the 10th year. So we are preparing the statement for this year. So that's why, I mean, insurance premium will be paid on full 1 crore rupees only. Miss Sinha also, again I repeat, when talking about insurance cost will be taken on the full value, that is 1 crore. Now let's proceed further. Again I repeat, in practical also, not even this question also, insurance, suppose if you have taken a car on suppose you have purchased a new car, let's say worth rupees 15 lakh, and at the end of the 10th year, the scrap value will be, let's say, 3 lakh. Now, how much insurance, I mean, on what amount the insurance premium will be calculated? Very simple, on 15 lakh. So again, for insurance purpose, you have to ignore the scrap value, because insurance premium is paid on the cost of the vehicle or cost of the machine. Let me check the solution. I don't know what is there, but yes, from in my opinion, insurance premium will be taken on full 1 crore. That's it. So 1 crore into 1% divided by 12. That is the correct answer. Let me check the solution also. In the study material also, in solution, they have clearly mentioned 1 crore into 1% divided by 12 months. And further, that approach is incorrect to deduct the scrap value. I repeat again, the same example, suppose आपने car खरीदी 15 lakh rupees का, so ignoring the scrap value, the insurance premium is paid on the cost of the car, that is the value of the car at the current year, at the current point. So that's what it is. I request you guys to please check the updated study material. This mistake has been corrected. I think you guys are referring the old material. In the new material, this point is rectified. So guys, now let's proceed further with the variable cost. This is the best approach and this is the correct approach. Now let's proceed further. Herein it is given that the repairs during the whole life of the machine are expected to be 18 lakh. This repairs is an variable cost. So repairs So the total amount of repairs that to be incurred in full life of the assets, that is 18 lakh rupees, divided by 10 into 1 by 12. So 18 lakh divided by 10 divided by 12. So this will be rupees 15,000. Now, so this will be rupees 15,000. And this variable cost is to be shown per hour only. So 15,000 divided by 365, that is 41.09, that is 41.10. Guys, this is the correct answer and the correct approach and the best approach. You have to follow this approach only. Guys, those who are having old study material, please check the updated study material that is available on ICAI BOS portal. And in that updated material also, this mistake has been rectified, wherein the insurance is calculated on the total cost of the machine, that is 1 crore. Further, how can, the scrap value is going to realize after 10 years. So it means what? It is completely irrelevant while calculating the insurance amount. So now we are done with the repairs part. Electricity consumption is another variable cost. Now here in electricity, it is given that electricity consumption is 15 units per hour and the rate is rupees 5 per unit. So very simple, since we are calculating the hour, we are preparing the hourly statement only. So every hour 15 units are consumed and they are paid at the rate of 5 per hour. So this will be 75. So herein, this is our machine hour rate. That is 266.76 plus 41.10 plus 75. That is 382.86. So this is the final answer, and the correct answer, those who are finding difficult as far as the calculation of insurance is concerned, this approach is the best approach and the correct approach. If there is a mistake in the old material, please do rectify the same. Vijay Gore, I request you to please refer the ICAI portal wherein the module is updated, wherein they have taken 1% of 1 crore only. Very good, Akash Neel. I'm happy that at least you are solving the questions well in advance. So very good, guys. Very good, Hitesh Jain. 266.76. This figure is 97,366 divided by 365. I hope, Pooja Borade, your doubt is resolved. Still, if you guys have any queries, you guys can please ask me. Waiting for your queries, guys. Else, we'll start with the next question on machine hour rate. That is illustration number 7. A bit tricky question. Those who want to copy this part can please copy. Waiting for your queries, guys. We are done with illustration number 6, that is relating to machine hour rate calculation. Miss Amritpal Kaur sir, why 365? Herein in this question, they have given that on an average 4,380 hours the machine worked for an year. So this 4,380 hours is the yearly data. And since all these figures are monthly, all these expenses we have considered on monthly basis. So that's why we will divide it by 365. That is 365 hours per month. These are the monthly expenses of the machine. So that's why we have divided with the monthly hours worked by the machine. I hope your query is resolved, Amritpal. Anyone else having any doubts? I request you to please correct the material what you have. The correct answer is 8,333 and this is the correct solution. Good, Tanishka, very good. So guys, let's proceed further with this is illustration number 6. I have discussed. So let's start with illustration number 7 of the study material that is there on page number 4.36. It's a bit tricky one because herein some data is related to. Okay, so illustration number 7. So let's start, guys, with illustration number 7. So now, let's start with illustration number 7 of the study material. A machine shop cost center contains 3 machines of equal capacity. So there are 3 machines of equal capacity. To operate these 3 machines, 9 operators are required. So for every machine, 3 operators are required. So 3 operators on each machine. Operator are paid at the rate of rupees 20 per hour. Okay. The factory works for 48 hours in a week, which include 4 hours setup time. So now they have mentioned that hours worked is 48 hours. Of this setup time is how much? 4 hours. So effective hours we have worked is 44 hours in a week. So the effective hours is 44 hours. The factory works for 48 hours in a week, which include 4 hours. So this is the weekly data. Okay, the work is jointly done by the operator. The operators are paid fully for 48 hours. In addition, they are paid a bonus of 10% of the productive time. So they are paid bonus as far as when the total payment is considered, they are paid on 48 hours. As far as bonus is concerned, they are paid on only on the productive time or effective hours, that is 44 hours. I'll be discussing this part more in the while calculating. The company, for the purpose of computing machine hour rates, includes the direct wages of the operator and also the factory overheads allocated to the machine. The following details of factory overheads applied to the cost center are available. That is depreciation at the rate of 10% per annum on the original cost of the machine. The original cost of the machine is 52,000. The maintenance and repairs per week per machine is 60. Consumable stores per week per machine is 75. Power is 20 units per hour per machine at the rate of 80 paisa per unit. No power is used during the setup hours, well said. Apportionment to the cost center is rent per annum, that is 5,400. This is a fixed cost. Heat and light per annum, that is 9,720 per annum again. Foreman salary per annum is 12,960 and other miscellaneous expenses are per annum 18,000. Now, very important, the last line, guys, very important. Calculate the cost of running one machine. Very important that we have to calculate the cost of running one machine for a 4-week period. Again, this some data is given on weekly basis, some data is given on yearly basis. We have to bring all these data at par for 4 weeks for every machine. So let's start, guys. Very important. The last line is very important. We have to calculate the cost of running one machine. Even though there are 3 machines, but we have to calculate the cost of every machine for a 4-week period. So let's start, guys. Just give me a minute. I need some water. So let's start, guys. Statement showing calculation of machine hour rate. Particulars, total amount, and per hour. Sorry, for 4 weeks data. Both are in amount only. Or alternatively, you can write total amount only for 4 weeks. So let's start, guys. Again, we are bifurcating all the costs in two parts, that is fixed cost or standing cost and variable cost and running cost. So when talking about fixed cost, there are costs that are given, that is apportionment to the cost center, that is rent per annum is 5,400. This data is related to all the machine. So let's start with this. Rent is 5,400. This data is related to all the 3 machines. Thereafter, heat and light per annum is 9720. Heat and light is 9720. Very good, Pooja. You are late, my dear. So heat and light is 9720. Foreman salary is 12,960. And other miscellaneous expenditures are 18,000. So these are the costs that are incurred. These are the costs that are apportioned. And this data is related to the entire year. This cost is per annum for all the 3 machines. So let's take the total 5,400 plus 9720 plus 12,960 plus 18,000. So the total cost is 46080. When talking about per machine for 4 weeks, this calculation I'm showing here. So 46080 is the total cost, and this cost is for how much machines? 3 machines. And since the question is asking us to calculate the cost of running one machine for 4-week period. So it means what? 46080 divided by 46080 divided by total 3 machines into 4-week periods. So there are total 52 weeks in a year. So into 4 by 52. So that is 46080 into 46080 divided by 3 into 4 by 52. So this will be 1181. So 1181 will be the final value. So this will be 1181.54. I repeat again, we have to prepare a statement for 4 weeks for every machine. So that's why 46080 is the total cost divided by the total number of machines, that is 3 machines. Since we have to calculate it for 4 weeks, so 4 divided by 52. So this is how come I derived 1181.54. Now there is a query. Rekha sir finding problem in segregating standing and variable C. The expenditures that are incurred on hourly basis are variable. Apart from this, you can classify all the repairs as variable cost, consumables as variable cost. So let's proceed further. Now this part is over. Now depreciation also we have to calculate. Wherein the depreciation, it is given that 10% per annum on the original cost of the machine, that is 50,000, 52,000 for each machine. So we can make the calculation as 52,000 So the cost of machine is 52,000 into 10%. So 5,200 is the depreciation for every machine, and this is the yearly depreciation, and we have to calculate the 4-week depreciation. So into 4 by 52. So 52,000 into 10% into 4 by 52. So 400 is the depreciation for all the machine for 4 weeks. Very good, Hitesh. 1 second, guys. So now the depreciation part we have already calculated, that is 400. Now let's proceed further. When talking about maintenance and repairs, it's a fixed cost. Maintenance and repairs per week, it's a variable cost. Consumable stores is a variable cost. Power is a variable cost. Now see, the operator wages and their bonus we have to consider. So now the wages part. Herein it is given that the operators are paid at the rate of rupees 20 per hour. The factory works for 48 hours in a week, which include 4 hours setup time. Very good, guys. Again, we are writing all the fixed cost only, Rekha. Still the variable cost need to be discussed. So right now I'm writing all the fixed costs. So in this question also, the depreciation is the fixed cost, my dear. Further, these wages are also paid. So again, they are treated as fixed cost only. Now it is given that the wages are paid for total 48 hours. And there are 3 operators on every machine. The wages are paid for 48 hours. When talking about variable cost, is the cost that change according to the production. I'll be discussing this part in detail in marginal costing now. Let's focus on what I'm discussing till right now. That is the wages that is paid at the rate of 48 per hour. 48 hours. And since every machine requires 3 operators, so 48 into 3 into they are paid at the rate of 20 hours, rupees 20 per hour. So into 20 into total 4 weeks. I repeat again, guys, 48 hours, 3 operator, 4 weeks, and 20 is the rate. So this is the rate of the payment of wages for 4 weeks. So 48 into 3 into 4 weeks into 20 per hour. So this will be 11520. If you, very good, guys. Hitesh Jain, you are doing good. So this will be 11520. I'm erasing this part. It is for your reference. This is 48 hours into total number of operators that are working are 3 into the rate of payment is 20 into 4 weeks. Now let's talk about the bonus also, wherein it is said that in addition they are paid bonus at the rate of 10% of the productive time only. So it means what? When talking about bonus, total productive hours are 44 only for 3 operator for 4 weeks into 20 into 10%. It is, yes, Pooja, well said. It is more or less like service costing. So 44 into 3 into 4 into 20 into 10%. That is 1056 is the final amount of bonus that is being paid to the workers. That is 1056. So I think all the costs are covered. Now let's move towards the variable cost. That is the next part. That is, let's make the total also first. Then we'll start with the variable cost. That is 1181.54 plus 400 plus 11,520 plus 1056. So 14,157.54. This is the total fixed cost. Now let's start with the variable cost. Now, Pooja, it's up to you. You can bifurcate it or not. If you want to prepare a raw statement, also the answer is correct. So now, again, in Manthanjali in study material, let me check. Manthanjali, they have covered the depreciation in the machine expenses. That's why it is the difference. Rest all everything is the same. I have bifurcated in two parts, that is fixed and variable. So now, the next part, that is the variable expenses, wherein it is given that the maintenance and repairs per week per machine is 60. So maintenance cost is rupees 60 per week per machine. So rupees 60 per week per machine. So 60 into 4, 240 is the maintenance cost. Consumable stores are 75 per week per machine. So consumable stores will be this will be 300. No, Mr. Kanani. Now next is, let's check we are left out with anything. Okay, power cost. It is given that power is rupees 20 units per hour per machine at the rate of 80 paisa per unit. No power is used during the setup hour. So total 48 hours work, of which 4 is setup hours. So balance we are left out with effective working hour is 44 machine working hours. So 44 hours are worked, effective work. 44 hours we worked effectively, and wherein the power was consumed only for 44 hours. So into 4 weeks, into the cost of power is 20 units per hour, and they are paid at the rate of 80 paisa per hour. So 20 into 0.80. So 44 into 4 into 20 into 0.80. So 2816 will be the power cost. Let me check if we are left out with anything. I don't think so. So this is all the variable cost now. That is 2816 plus 300 plus 240. That is 3356. And the total cost will be 14157. 17513. This is the way you have to present the solution. Alternatively, you can divide it in two parts, that is standing cost and machine cost. Both these approaches are correct. Examiner is not going to deduct marks if by mistake even अगर कोई आपने एक point इधर उधर कर दिया है तो examiner won't deduct marks. So this calculation should be perfect and correct. Alternatively, what you can do is you can simply prepare a statement showing calculation of machine hour rate. Whatever the costs that are given in aggregate, you can take it and then divide it by machine hours. Rest all variable cost, you can write it separately. No need to bifurcate that what are standing cost and what are variable cost. Both these approaches are correct. So this is all about this question. I hope this part is clear. Many of the students were facing queries in such type of question that how to make the calculation. So I have explained all this calculation in detail. So if you guys have any doubts, you guys can please ask me. Waiting for your queries. If not, then we'll start with the next question. Those who want to copy the solution can please copy. The next part is we have to calculate the machine hour rate. So the total cost is 17513.54. So we have to divide by the number of hours, wherein the total number of hours are 176. That is the effective machine hour. Herein, while calculating the machine hour rate, we'll always take the effective hours or productive hours. Effective or productive hours. So that will be 44 into this cost is 4 weekly cost. I repeat again, this cost is for 4 weeks. So divided by 44 hours per week into 4 weeks. So this will be 17513.54 divided by 176. So this will be 99.51. Okay, Neha Gupta sir, I have doubt in wages. Why 48 hours are taken instead of 44 hours? See, Neha, the total hours worked by the workers is 48 hours. Of this, 4 hours is the setup time and they are paid for the setup time. That's why I have taken these wages for entire 48 hours. When talking about the bonus, they are paid only on the productive hours. So this 44 hours is what we call as productive hours or effective hours. No, I mean, it is not necessary, Manish. If the examiner is asking, you have to calculate the same. Very good, Hitesh. Neha Gupta, I repeat again. In fact, this is the setup time. Even the workers are paid for the idle time also. So that's what I'm saying. Since 4 hours is the setup time and 44 hours is the productive working time, they will be paid for entire 48 hours. But as far as bonus is concerned, it is generally paid. And however, in this question, it is specifically mentioned that it is paid on productive hours. That is the 44 hours is the productive hours. Thank you so much for the compliment, Rakhi. Vijay Gore, yes, they have mentioned clearly in this question also, but further in practically also, when talking about the practical approach also, generally the wages is paid to the workers for the hours they have worked, whether it is idle hours also or whether it is productive hours also. Anyone else having any doubts? Waiting for your queries, guys, else I'll start with the next question. I want to discuss one more question on calculation of labor hour, calculation of machine hour. If can't solve this question over the board, at least I want to discuss. So any of the approaches are correct. You can bifurcate it in fixed cost also, variable cost also, or just prepare an aggregate statement. It is more than sufficient, my dear. But the best approach is bifurcate in two parts, that is fixed cost and variable cost. That's it. When talking about depreciation, it is always treated as fixed cost unless and until it is incurred on hourly basis. In this question, alternatively, you could have taken wages and bonus also as variable. I repeat again, not to confuse you guys, but this approach you guys can also consider that these wages are since paid on hourly basis, this can be a variable cost. So any of the approaches are correct. Examiner is not going to deduct marks कि अगर आपसे कोई एक आध पॉइंट में गलती हो गई कि फिक्स ले लिया या वेरिएबल ले लिया. But yes, the thumb rule is if the machine is depreciated on the hours worked, it is advisable to take as variable. But yes, if it is given that the total life is 10 years or something like that, then it is advisable to take as fixed only. So apart from this, repairs, again the thumb rule, always take it as variables. Rent, foreman salary, insurance, all these will be treated as fixed cost only. Sushil Kumar Bank, sir, why divided by 4 by 52? Now, Sushil, the question is asking us to calculate. The question is asking us to calculate the cost of machine for 4 weeks. And there are 52 weeks in a year. So that's why 4 divided by 52, my dear. Siddhappa Kamble, for you, my dear. Bhai, variable is the cost that keeps on changing according to production. I'll be discussing this part more in detail, but I repeat again, the cost that changes according to production is variable cost. Let's say for 10 units, the cost is 100. So for 20 units, the cost will be 200. For 30 units, the cost will be 300. But when talking about fixed cost, irrespective of the production, the cost will always remain same. That is fixed cost. Further, I'll be discussing in detail this concept, what is variable cost, what is the utility of variable cost, how variable cost is considered for management decision making. That part will be discussed in marginal costing, my dear. Thank you so much, Mantanjali. So guys, let's discuss one more question, that is question number 5. I hope this question is a bit trickier, again a bit tricky question, because many students find it difficult to solve question number 5. So at least if if अगर हम लोग सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते तो एटलीस्ट आई वांट टू डिस्कस दिस क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. So let's start with question number 5. A machine shop has 8 identical drilling machine manned by 6 operator. The machine cannot be worked with an operator wholly engaged on it. तो इट मींस व्हाट कि भाई टोटल 8 मशीन है मगर हमारे पास ऑपरेटर सिर्फ नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेटर सिर्फ 6 है. So it means what? At a particular point of time, only 6 machine can function. I repeat, guys, I am discussing practical question number 5 of the study material, that is page number 4.65. Sushil Kumar Bank, bonus is charged in general. Practical, when talking about the practical part, yes, practically bonus is paid on productive hour, but very important, you have to see the instructions as given in the question. If the question is instructing you to pay it on the total wages, you can pay it on the total wages. If the question is instructing you to pay it on the productive wages, you can pay it on productive wages. So let's proceed further. Like, guys, question number 5 of the study material. A machine shop has 8 identical drilling machines manned by 6 operators. The machine cannot be worked without an operator wholly engaged on it. It means factory के पास total 8 machines है, मगर the machines that are functioning at a particular point of time is 6 only. The original cost of all these machines work out to 8 lakh rupees. The original cost of all these machines. It means for all the 8 machines, the cost is 8 lakh. The particulars are furnished for 6 months. Very important, guys. These particulars are for 6 months. That is, the normal available hours per month is 208. Now, hours per month is 208. Hours per month is 208 is per month. Absenteeism without pay, hours is 18. Hours available. Absenteeism hours. Now, these hours available is 208 hours per month. But very important, this is a 6 months data. So this absenteeism hours, 18 hours are for what? For 6 months. Further leave that is with pay hours are 20. Again, this is for 6 months. Normal idle time, unavoidable hours is 10. Again, this data is for 6 months. So, guys, examiner might confuse. मतलब there are chances कि examiner आपको confuse करने के लिए information. This question is a very good question. Wherein generally क्या होता है, students इनको भी per month assume कर लेते हैं while calculating the total hours or effective hours or productive hours, whatever it is. Very important, guys. This data is only per month. The rest, all these 3 data is for 6 months. Very important. This 18 hours, 20 hours and 10 hours is in 6 months. So we will convert this into 6 months also. That is 208 into 6 months. So 208 into 6 months, that is 1248. So in short, for 6 months, total hours available are 1248. 18 are the absenteeism hours, 20 hours the leaves without pay or whatever it is. 10 hours are the idle hours for the 6 months. Absenteeism without pay hours means कि भाई आपकी जो जनरली कंपनीज में क्या होता है कि for every year there are 30 paid leaves or 24 paid leaves. When talking about absenteeism without pay leaves, it means what? After crossing these 24 leaves or 30 leaves, if you are taking extra leaves, let's say in a company there are 30 paid leaves and you are taking 40 leaves in a year, it means you will be paid for 30 leaves and for the balance 10 leaves you won't be paid anything. So that is what we call as absenteeism without pay hours. Now the average rate of wage per worker is 8 hours a day at the rate of 100 per hour, so total 800. The production bonus is 15% on the wages. Now very important guys, इस क्वेश्चन में कुछ भी नहीं बोला है कि प्रोडक्टिव पे करना है या अनप्रोडक्टिव पे करना है. So simply calculate the total wages of this. 15% will be the production bonus. No need to consider how much are paid hours, unpaid hours, whatever it is. Very simple. Calculate the wages and bonus will be flat 15% of the wages. No need to make the separate calculation. Value of power consumed, supervision and indirect labor, lighting and electricity. So all these details were for 6 months. Now, very important, these particulars are for a year. Very important, these particulars are for a year. So the remaining data is given on yearly basis, wherein repairs and maintenance, including consumables, is 3% of the value of the machine. So value of machine into 3% divided by 2. So you have to convert this data into 6 months if the question is asking us to prepare a 6 monthly statement. Insurance 40,000 is for the entire year. So for the 6 months it will be 20,000. Depreciation, again you have to calculate the 6 monthly depreciation. Other sundry work expenses, again you have to convert it into 6 months. General management expenses, you have to convert it into 6 months. You are required to compute a comprehensive machine hour rate for the machine shop. So after making the total divided by the number of machine hours, that is the productive machine hours, you will get the machine hour rate. So guys, why I have discussed this question? Because of this part, very important, these 208 hours are per month. So we have to convert first it in 6 months, then all these data given is related to 6 months. Further, few information is given in the question for 6 months and few information is given in the question for a year. So very important, you have to keep all these things at a par. So you have to prepare a 6 monthly statement and then you can easily calculate the per hour rate. So this is the way you have to approach the question. When talking about how much will be the effective working hours, there are 208 hours in a year. 208 hours in a month. So into 6 months, 1248 hours are the total hours that are available. When talking about the productive hour, 18 will be deducted, 20 will be deducted, and 10 will be deducted to calculate the productive hours. I repeat again, to calculate the productive hour from 1248, the 18 that is without pay hours will be deducted. Again, no productive production activity was कोई भी एक्टिव प्रोडक्शन उस दौरान चल नहीं रहा था. Leaves pay hours, that is 20 hours, the workers 20 hours, the workers were on leave. So again, this is an unproductive time. Further, normal idle time we do deduct to calculate the productive hours. So this 18, 20 and 10 will be deducted from 1248. How come 1248? 208 into 6 months. So that's it. Again, guys, fifth question is very important. So I request you guys to please solve this fifth question. Apart from this, since the time is running, I was supposed to discuss one more question. But for your reference, since the time is running, I'll discuss this question orally. 1 second, guys. Let me take this question. Page number 4.46, illustration number 9. Again, this question is more or less like a simultaneous equation. So try to solve illustration number 9 in writing. It is more or less like a simultaneous equation based question. So try to solve this question specifically in writing. अगर एग्जाम में थोड़ा टफ पेपर आया या लेंदी पेपर आया तो एग्जामिनर माइट आस्क यू क्वेश्चन like that is illustration 9 number जैसे questions पूछ सकते हैं if the paper is on the lengthier side or on the trickier side. Again, there is no rocket science. It's just a simultaneous equation. You have to frame and solve it. Rest all, I think I have covered each and every point in detail. So rest all everything is covered in detail in this chapter. I tried my level best to cover each and every point. In the last batch, I was not being able to cover this part, that is the calculation of machine hour rate. Further, one more point, 1248 hours into total 6 operators. So this data is for per month per operator. So 1248 into 6 operators minus 18, 20 and 10. That will be the productive hours. The wages will be paid on the hours. When talking about the wages paid on hours, 1 second guys. When talking about the wages will be paid on (208) hours that are available per month into 6 months into 6 operator. So this will be 208 into 6 into 6, that is 7488. These are the total hours that are available, wherein it is given that absent is no, without pay hours are 18. So minus 18, that is without pay. We are not paying for the same. So 7488 minus 18. So wages will be paid for 7470 hours. So this is all what about this chapter. Still, if you guys have any doubts, any queries, any confusion, will be left out with some time in the next session for your queries. So I request you guys to please try and solve all the question in writing. I repeat again, I request you guys to please solve all the question in writing of this chapter overhead. I have covered each and every point in detail. Mostly the examiner is going to ask you on all these points only. So that's it for the day. Thanks for your time and patience, and thanks for participating in the session. Thank you very much guys for solving the question in the live session. So it was really good. Interacting with you, checking out your answers and all. So that's it for the day guys. We are done with this chapter. In the next session, we'll be discussing one more chapter, that is activity-based costing. That is the extension of the chapter what we have already discussed, that is overhead. So I request you guys to please solve all the questions of study material plus the past practice manual and try to solve it. If possible, I'll try to resolve your queries, whatever the queries you have in the next session, because that activity-based costing is a very small chapter and a very easy chapter. So in, let's say, 1.5 to 2 hours, we'll be able to fix up. We'll be able to complete that chapter. So half an hour will be left out for your queries of overhead. So please try to solve all the questions in writing. Don't do ticking, vouching, verification. You are still doing CA. You have not completed CA, that you are just checking the question. The solutions are correct in the study material. Try to write your own solution. Try to solve the question in your way. That is the best approach while preparing for exams. So thank you so much guys. Have a great day. Enjoy. See you soon guys. Yes sir.